Hi friends, quick demo on how to save and export your work in Photoshop. Let's say you're saving a project you've been working on for the first time. You're going to go up to File, Save As, choose Save on your computer, and find your H drive on the left of this File Explorer window. You'll know it's your H drive when you see an H and a colon at the end of the name. In your H drive, I recommend making some folders to organize your work if you haven't already. I'm going to make a new one now and just call it PS Intro for Photoshop Intro. You might also want to have folders for semester 1 and semester 2 if you don't already. So I can make those right in this window as well. I'm going to go into that folder I just made, and I'm going to make sure that I know what the file is going to be named and what type of file it's going to save as. I like to name files for class with my last name first and then the name of the assignment following. So last name underscore color wheel we'll type in. You want to make sure you don't delete the period or the letters after the period in a file name. This is what's called the file extension, and it tells the computer what type of file this actually is. If these letters don't match the type of file you're saving, sometimes your file can become corrupted and you'll lose your work. So it's best to just never touch the period or the 3 letters after the period. You're just changing what's in front of that. So with your file name typed in, you're going to make sure you check the type of file it's saving right below. Where it says Save As Type, the first time you save and while you're working on your file, you want to make sure it's saving as a Photoshop document, abbreviated .psd for Photoshop document. That should be the default, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. Don't worry about any of the other options down below either. Just make sure you know where it's saving to, what it's called, and what type of file you're saving, and then click Save. When this pop-up comes up, click OK. That has saved a working version of this file. It saves any layers or effects that you might have and everything you've done so far. Now, when you make a change, for instance, if I come in with my brush and do this, you'll see a little asterisk up at the top in this tab next to your file name. That means that you have unsaved changes. You want to get in the habit of frequently hitting Control S on your keyboard. That prompts it to save. It's the same thing as going to File, Save, and hitting Control S or clicking this option here. That just does a quick update or checkpoint of your work. Now, I don't like what I just did, so I'm going to Control Z to undo that. But let's say I'm all done with a project and I'm ready to turn it in. You're usually going to turn in a PSD version of your work, so the Photoshop document, but I'll also have you save a JPG as well. We're going to do that by going to File, Save As, save on your computer again. And the only thing you should have to change if you know the location it's saving to and you've already put in the file name, all you need to do is change the Save As type to the first JPEG option. You'll see it says JPEG with the abbreviation .jpg down below. When you click on that, you should notice that the file extension at the end of your file name also changes. Again, that should always match, but you should never type this in yourself. So that all looks good. We're going to click Save. It's going to give you a pop-up now that asks about file quality. You can just click OK, but if you're saving a final project and you really want it to be high quality, especially if you think you might be printing it for an art show or a gift or anything, you can turn up the file quality. Notice that that will make the file a little bit larger in size. So there is a pretty big difference there, but that's up to you. When you're all done with these options, click OK. And we're going to check those files to make sure that they saved where we expect them to. I'm going to go to my H drive, the folders that I just made, and check both of my files are there. So the difference between these two is that the PSD is only something that can be opened in Photoshop. Only Photoshop understands this type of file. I couldn't email that to someone or post that on Instagram or really do anything other than work on Photoshop with it. The JPEG, and the reason that we save this is because every program is going to understand this type of file. It's something that you can turn in on Google Classroom. You can upload to Instagram or Snapchat or any app. Pretty much anything's going to understand and be able to view a JPEG. So that's why it's crucial that we have both types of files. When you're ready to turn those in, you should be able to attach them in Google Classroom and also upload these files to your Google Drive so that they're backed up somewhere extra safe and not just on your computer.